So with no further ado, I'll invite our first speaker, Paul Puey from Edge. Is one of the most successful wallets in this space, and Paul is an all-timer in the ecosystem as well. So it's a pleasure to have you here, Paul, and welcome to the RSK ecosystem update.
Great, thanks so much for having me. I'm happy to share what we've been up to, who we are, what we do. No, I know I've only got a few minutes, don't have any slides, so I just want to give people a brief update on what they can expect in Edge and also what we have kind of going forward. So I'm Paul Puey, CEO and co-founder of Edge. We co-founded the company actually quite a while ago, about 2014, originally with the name Airbits. So a lot of people may have used Airbits, which was an app focused on payments, really allowing people to send and receive Bitcoin, had a merchant directory so people could find where they could spend Bitcoin. I was really big on utility of Bitcoin, not just a store of value. But our big differentiator was how we secured private keys. You know, our goal was to eliminate a lot of the complexity of having to write down keys. And back then you even had to save files or save PDF files. So we built Airbits at the time such that you just created what felt like a cloud account, but it was self-custody. I'm not a maximalist in most ways, but in self-custody I am. So I'm a self-custody maximalist. Make sure people hold and control their own funds, which is what makes me so excited about DeFi. All right, it's not just holding your own funds to send and receive, but holding your own funds or a contract holding the funds, code holding the funds for financial services. We pivoted to Edge in 2018, allowing people to transact with multiple different chains, currency side chains such as RSK, because we felt that there was a proliferation of use cases, outside of just the core layer 1 Bitcoin blockchain. And with that, we allowed people to really have rich exchange functionality, being able to go to and from various different assets, different tokens, coins, because with the proliferation of the functionality came proliferation of coins. So some things that we've done, we've been big supporters of the rootstock ecosystem, with at least early on support for RBTC inside of the app. I think as early as 2019, if not early 2020, we'd supported that. And then now people can use Edge directly inside of the app to both send, receive, acquire RBTC from other assets, as well as to enable any tokens that are on the are on the entire chain. You can simply manually add tokens, even if we don't specifically support it. You can easily manually add the tokens, with the contract address and currency code, and have full support for any token on the RSK chain. Some things as well that are potentially quite relevant to the ecosystem is the fact that Edge is built as an SDK, which means that people can build other apps using the same kind of login subsystem and functionality, encryption, key management that you see in Edge. So if you're an Edge user and at the same time you might be looking at developing another DeFi project, and you don't want the interface of having a user have to go to MetaMask to sign into your application or download another dApp browser and whatnot, you can actually have the key management necessary inside your app, baked into your app without a user having to go anywhere else. And we have it's not something we market very heavily. Our B2B side, the SDK side isn't something that we focus on very heavily. It's more of the application of Edge itself. But it is something that's available. And one of the beauties of that SDK and key management platform is that anybody that already has Edge on their phone and already has an account doesn't have to create another account inside of your application. They can a single sign on, basically like scan a barcode and then they're signed into the application, but they don't need to have that. They don't need to have a different application. They can go directly into your app and sign in. As well, our team is hugely excited about the DeFi space. So I've been an avid user of DeFi for the past year, specifically around taking loans. And a lot of people think DeFi is, well, it's the slot machine, gambling, liquidity mining, throw some tokens here, hopefully I get an airdrop. But I'm mostly excited about its use case to replace centralized equivalents, whether it be interest-bearing accounts or loans, hedging, trading, and whatnot. So with the proliferation of DEXs, that's something we've already integrated in Edge, so people can trade tokens that so far just on the Ethereum network to and from, but we're excited to do the same thing on the RSK network. And probably the bigger thing that I'm excited about is being able to do financial services such as take out a crypto collateralized loan. Right now, I have to do this through a chain of swaps to get into the Ethereum network, but doing this natively on Rootstock is what I would consider to be kind of the gold standard, right? Being able to really take true Bitcoin, not having to cross chain through it, not having to transfer through chains with a trusted counterparty, but be able to go directly into our BTC, collateralize that Bitcoin, and then take out a loan in a stable coin such as DOC and get that into my bank account. It's something, that process is something that I've used by using multiple different apps and realizing how tedious it is to have to deal with a swap service, have to deal with a DEX, and then also have to deal with an exchange to get dollars into your bank account. Because one of the big reasons to collateralize a loan is so you can use your money, so you can use your dollars, but not have to sell your Bitcoin. So all of that is kind of disjunct. It's multiple steps. It's very intimidating. We aim to fold all this together directly inside Edge. Might be a subset of the functionality you would get directly from the dApp, but it would be one that would be buttery smooth. And so we are looking for multiple different projects and studying the APIs to these smart contracts to see what are some good ones to integrate to provide this type of functionality. And other things that we'd like to offer to really compete with the centralized exchange equivalents are more advanced trading functionality, such as shorts and leverage. So projects out there that can provide that type of DeFi functionality, we would be very interested in, and hopefully also allow those contracts to get support directly from within Edge and allow the users to access them in a single, more unified experience, as opposed to having to bounce around left and right. And then lastly, outside of just our project, I've been a big member of the community in cryptocurrency and really wanting to support the efforts of other projects, helping onboard new users, educating other users into Bitcoin and crypto. And one thing that I've done has been part of the meetup community here in San Diego, and we've kickstarted after a year and a half of it being pretty quiet, with COVID. And so, if there are projects out there that would like to present and really get some visibility within at least the community here in California, in Southern California, and San Diego, and you happen to be in the area at some point in the future, definitely reach out. Let us know. We help participate in facilitating the events here in our office. We've got a nice little event space that can handle about 100 people. So we'd love to hear how some of these projects are doing and how they function, and get some insight from the community and sometimes some critique. But that's always healthy. You want to get the hard questions. And so definitely reach out to us if there is something that is interesting. You have a representative in California that would like to present. And if anything, we both get to learn from that presentation, potentially partner, and then get more exposure for that project across all of the users in Edge, and as well as the people and community here in Southern California. So with that, thanks a whole lot for having me. Look forward to hearing what some of the other projects have in store. And of course, if people have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can easily get in contact with our team just by going to our website, edge.app. Pretty simple URL, edge.app. We don't misspell anything like gift and lift, LY. It's just good old-fashioned edge.app. You can find our Twitter site. I'm on Twitter. Pretty easy to find. And yeah, we'd be happy to answer any questions and look forward to hearing feedback from people.
Thank you so much, Paul. It's super useful for all the projects to get this welcoming in San Diego to present to the community. And I also love your vision as a maximalist on the key management side.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're going to love what Money on Chain is doing, for instance, enabling Bitcoiners to put their Bitcoins as collateral to get a passive income and enable stable coins with collateral in Bitcoin. Sovereign
as well.
Yeah, Sovereign is also enabling this DeFi functionality built on top of Bitcoin as Tropicus, which is a Colombian-based project that is focused on loans, on bringing DeFi to real users that need this technology. So thank you so much. Is there anything you can share about the user base? Because I know it's a huge user base, the one you guys have in Edge. I don't know if it's a public number or something that you can share so people understand the...
Yeah, we can give some kind of rough numbers. So we are pretty strong on privacy. So that's one thing that you kind of didn't mention. Our application, unless you go inside our app to purchase Bitcoin from a bank account or from cash, by and large, doesn't ask for any personal information. You create an account in Edge with just a username and password. So we don't actually know how many physical human beings are using Edge. But as far as the accounts created on our ecosystem, we've got well over, we're approaching a couple million accounts, which, gosh, at one point I thought that was a lot, but our crypto's gotten so big that now it doesn't feel like much. But we've got, over 1 million, approaching 2 million accounts created on the platform, with 6-figure active users, per month. So pretty respectable number. And it's definitely given us some good exposure and made us a pretty healthy company. So
yes,
excited to bring on some more folks, and we definitely want to hear feedback from people on ways that we can improve.
Congratulations. And it's great to know that every token can be added manually
Absolutely.
to the wallet. And probably you want to follow up with some of the ecosystem teams to see if we can enable it natively. So thank you very much, Paul, for being here with us, and to the whole Edge team. Congratulations for the success and for being part of the RSK ecosystem.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, Gabriel.
Thanks, Paul.